Negroes in this country are confronted by is with a re-education program. Not a re-education program for whites, but a re-education program for black people themselves to eliminate the negative image that has been through propaganda instilled within us of ourselves since we've been in this country. It'll take an entirely new approach to restore some kind of racial pride and racial dignity in the minds of the black people. And once we have this pride and this dignity, we can get the cohesiveness and the unity and harmony necessary to solve our own problems here in the black community instead of waiting for representatives of the white community to come uptown and solve these problems for us.
All right, peace be unto you all. We say in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. We just want to open up with a quick reflection and prayer, then we'll get the town hall community open. We begin always with the name of God, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. The praise belongs to God, the guardian evolver, the cherisher and sustainer of all the systems of knowledge. The merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, the sole judge on the day of religion. You alone do we worship, and your aid we seek. Guide us on the straight way, the way of those with whom you have favored, not those who cause anger, nor those who go astray. Amen. So we welcome you all to Masjid Muhammad-Newark. I'm the resident Imam, Masjid Muhammad. It's an honor for you all to be here to host this safety meeting, town hall meeting, and we welcome your dialogue, we welcome your participation, and we're honored to have you here. I had a chance to meet you when we did a tour. I don't know if you remember doing Muslim Heritage Month with Councilman Bay, with our students, and we're happy to have the People's Assembly here, as well as the Office of Violence Prevention and a few others that you all will get to talk to. So I thank you. Peace.
Thank you, Imam, for allowing us to use the masjid. I appreciate it. Today's public safety meeting is to talk to the residents and basically to make their voice heard. I am Cynthia McElroy of the North People's Assembly Office of the Mayor, and I am responsible for listening to the community and any concerns that's raised. I am responsible for reporting it back to the administration and making sure that we help provide resources or solutions to abate the problems here in our city. I know there's a lot happening, and a lot of times people expect that the administration know we don't know. That's the importance of having to build a relationship with the community, bridging the gap in the community to make sure that we are working together, right? Without the community, administration can accomplish the things that they don't know or they're not aware of. We make a lot of decisions, but the Mayor Baraka, thank you for him being so adamant about including the community and making sure the community is involved. So with that being said, Office of Violence Prevention, Public Safety, and we put these meetings together to be able to talk to the residents and make their voice heard. And then additionally, making sure the right people in the room. So we have Director Adams here from Code Enforcement. We have our Sister Gracie here. She's boots on the ground with Code Enforcement. So if you are in this area, you'll see her. And then we have Sister Dawn here, who's on the Office of Violence Prevention side. With that being said, I'll let Sister Dawn go first, and she can cover what Office of Violence Prevention does, and then I'll turn it over to Director Adams, and he can explain what engineering is responsible for in our city, and then we'll open up to questions and concerns. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Sister Dawn from the Office of Violence Prevention and Trauma Recovery. This office has been in place. Our main headquarters is located at 1017th Avenue. It was formerly the 2nd Precinct. So the mayor created this office after the Brick City Peace Collective was created, which is a collective of organizations that come together to discuss what it is that's happening in our community from the who, what, when, and where perspective of grassroots organizations, in addition to educational institutions, the hospitals that are involved, and we're able to really look at it in a systematic way as public health, declaring public safety as a public health concern. And so when we took that approach, we were able to look at it in a holistic way and figure out creative and progressive ways to help decrease the violence in our city. We are able to sit and stand and say that the city of Newark violence have gone down tremendously within the last 60 years. We have made the top city in the United States of America for crime decreasing within this last year. Alhamdulillah. And so it most certainly comes with us hearing from our community, addressing our community, and not ignoring things that we know can be changed. As a Muslim and I'm in this department, I do understand that we are who we're waiting for. The Prophet Muhammad said we are the best of the people. And so how do we implement what it is that we're expecting to happen in our community in a real way? So our office this summer employed 150 youth. And now these are not the ones who met the criteria for SYEP. These are not the students that are AB students. These are not the ones who don't have to worry about turning in a report card. We employed the kids who did not have a report card maybe, or that's on ankle monitoring, or that have been involved in things that have them have conversations with the police officers. So we were able to bear witness to, from last summer to this summer, how we had minimized stolen cars, aggravated assaults, dealing with our children, as well as theft from autos. And so we understood that demographic was causing that to increase. So when we look at our partners throughout the city and who we work with, we're able to see where blight is, where it's dark at, where do we need to concentrate at, where are the shootings happening at, where are the aggravated assaults that may or may not be connected to aggravated assault connected to domestic violence, and then having organizations that specialize in domestic violence. So we look at all of those amazing things that the mayor put in place for our department to contribute with our street knowledge or institutional knowledge. We're able to really address what it is that's happening in our community in a real way. In front of me, I have the peace agreement that is a campaign gearing towards the 24 hours of peace. How many of y'all be in the 24 hours of peace? We're gonna be outside. We outside. And this is a signed living document, and if you're interested in signing it, please allow me to give it to you and to take a picture of it, because there's a slideshow presentation at the 24 hours of peace of people who are buying into this. So it's not just regular community members. Like he said, Camden Street. I'll be pulling up on Camden to have a conversation with you call them young Negroes, with the young Negroes, to find out. We kind of changed that language in my department. The word nigger and Negro get you 25 push-ups in my office, because we are acknowledging that our history and our ancestors have fought for years. I understand you guys. I do. I'm not sure what's about to go. Yes. So with that being said, we speak to big homies, big brothers, aunts, all of that. Those are leaders in their own right within their own lifestyles. So we're not minimizing their importance in their community, because you have children in our community that will listen to their big homies before they listen to their mama. And so our department, we have the privilege, because it is a privilege, to have that conversation with his mama and to call his big homie to wherever the situation is happening at. Oh, he acting up in school? Principal such and such, this is one of yours. Here's our remedy from our office, from the mayor's office. I'm gonna bring this tattooed faced gentleman inside of the school to make sure this kid gets to class. And if he don't, the consequences ain't my business, because that's the lifestyle they live. Capiche? Make sense? Yes. And so these are some of the out of the box initiatives that we work with to make our community safe for us. And alhamdulillah, it's working. Allah is so merciful. And if I have to call the big brothers, then so be it. But alhamdulillah, I've not been tested with that. May Allah continue to see so that that's not my case. So we have our director of the engineering department, who I would like to pivot it over to.
Good evening. My name is James Adams. I'm the Director of Engineering for the City of Newark. For those of you who don't know, the engineering department encompasses 4 divisions. There's a director's office that's responsible for the administration of the other 3 divisions. There's Uniform Construction Code that's responsible for issuing permits for anything as small as a deck all the way to a high-rise building. We do construction inspection with electrical. We have electrical, we have civil. We also have the building, plumbing, and electrical. I said that as far as permits in the office. The other division we are responsible for is traffic and signals. We're responsible for all traffic signals, all traffic signs, and the construction and safety projects that you see in and around Newark, whether it's handicap ramps, whether it's paving, whether it's striping, all of that comes underneath the Division of Traffic and Signals. Last and obviously not least is our Code Enforcement Division. Ms. Porter is in the back. She's probably the person that you're going to see. That division is responsible for what I call quality of life. We are here to ensure that the residents are following the municipal code. We're here to make sure the businesses are operating safely or operating in compliance with the City of Newark code compliance. For example, do they have their fire inspection? Do they have their trade waste permit? Do they have their licensing? We even go as so far as if we notice that there's food that expires, we'll call our health department partners to come in and make sure these businesses are giving you the services that you, the residents of Newark, require. So it might seem like a lot, and it is a lot. It keeps us busy, keeps us up at night. But like the two before me have said, we're here to serve the residents of the City of Newark, and we're here to hear what your comments are, what your suggestions are.
Thank you. So this is the good part of the meeting that I like. When we open up the floors to anyone, I just say make sure that we're keeping it at 2 minutes. A lot of people are passionate about what they're here for, or either things that they need to raise to our concern. So, and just be mindful that, you know, when someone else is talking, let's give them the floor, because it might be something that you want to mention, but they might just get it before you and then receiving that answer afterwards. So, and then also being mindful that you're asking a question. We're gonna give you feedback, right? This also giving you education about some things that you might not be aware of that's happening in the city. So when you ask something, you know, we're gonna give you a response. So with that being said, the young man in the front, the veteran, he started off the meeting earlier, so we'll give him the floor to be able to talk.
Good evening. My name is Brian Dandridge. I live in the first senior citizens building at the come to down Morris Avenue. My concern is the quality of life, not only in these streets, but in this entire city. When we have, and you know, like the term, but we use it anyway, young Negroes standing on the corner with nothing else to do but waste their lives. In and out of jail, got a record, can't find a job, have no high school training, no trade training. Something needs to be done to take them off the corner, give them something else to do. I mentioned this in a long time ago when Mayor Gibson was mayor, having to hook up with him in Van Burgers. And I said, the city of New York owns a lot of land in Northwest Jersey. Why don't you take these kids off the street and let them cut wood, clean up the forest areas, right? Cut down dead trees, yada, yada, yada. He looks at me and he says, who's gonna pay for it? I said, they're your children, they're our children, we're gonna pay for it. He walked away. Be it as it may, I have concerns about what I see on the streets. Years ago, it was called wandering. There was a law against it. Young folks out here, no job, and I'm gonna repeat this, no job, no hopes of getting a job, got a record from the police department, been incarcerated. And it looks like they're wandering with no hope. They get high every day, we get high every day, no employee wants to talk to them, qualified or not. You're standing, you're gonna stand on this corner over here, you're gonna stop big homie, whoever that happens to be, talk to him. Is this your child? Is your child in school today? Because they're gonna find parents who don't let their kids, don't keep track of their kids. Irvington Court will find the parents. You're responsible for your child being in school. Once in school, now it's the teacher's responsibility. Everything that you thought you had a burden on you has been taken off. You are no longer responsible once he hits inside the school door. Okay. What I'm saying is, my whole conversation here right now is just quality of life. When your grandmother's afraid to come out on the street and go shopping, that's a quality of life issue. When your children can't hang out in the front of your house, that's a quality of life thing. When there are no resources, or allegedly no resources to aid in that endeavor, something's wrong. That's a quality of life issue. Where's this money going? I'm not going to be like Donna Jackson. I love it, but I'm not going to be like Donna Jackson. Because Donna will just read you the riot act. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not about that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, I mean, would you want to sign on all this? Okay. My answer is short, so. So, just, my apologies, I stepped out. One of the residents who's really active in this community, I saw her outside, so I just wanted to have her sit in the hallway because I don't want her to not feel like she's not a part of this meeting. And then also just to mention, I'm on my phone, I'm taking notes, I'm not being rude. And then you'll see some of my colleagues as well, taking notes however you choose to. But to bring to your attention, we do have flyers out on the table. We have the West Ward budget community meeting that's coming up on September the 3rd, where all the directors and administration will be there. They're gonna talk about the whole budget. They're gonna break down from every department. So you're more than welcome to talk and have, open questions to each department. But there are a lot of resources that we do provide. Most of the resources we provide are from these meetings. We listen to residents, we listen to their concerns, and then we come up with a strategy from the different directors in the department. The mayor, he talks to the directors at least twice a week, addressing concerns. We've been doing community walks out in the community on Tuesdays and Thursdays, talking and engaging. So we are listening. We understand that there is some quality of life issues that we need to tackle with some of the younger generation. Sister Dawn here, she could go more into detail, but I will say from the engagement we've been doing with the city of Newark and with our younger people, West Ward hasn't had a murder this year in the West Ward. We've been doing tremendously with that. We have an Office of Violence Prevention up the street where residents can go to, but we've also been doing a lot of work in the West Ward. So the West Ward has been tackling. Councilman Kelly has been out actively engaging with his team. So I think a larger question will be, how do we engage people more, right? What are you expecting? But also your involvement of it too, so you can be aware and be able to. My office sends out an email blast twice a week, letting all the residents in the city of Newark to know what's going on. So that's like 5,000 people I'm sending emails to twice a week, and as well as canvassing. So that's some of the work we are doing. That's where, the money and the resources are going to. But Sister Dawn to go a little bit deeper into Office of Violence Prevention and the work they've been doing in the West Ward.
Thank you. So I didn't tell you, but I was the former president of the Board of Education. So I am very versed on the policies that go along with the school district specifically. But one thing I did want you to know is that we have an entire re-engagement center dedicated for our kids who want to do something. It's kind of hard, just like someone with an addiction. It's kind of hard to force them to do something different. I get you the job, you show up, you hire, you show up, you not showing up. Those are like, you ain't about to mess my good name up, sir. Sorry, when you're ready, I'm here for you. And that's usually the feel that I get. So that is located at 375 McCarter Highway, down near the Easy Pass building on the 3rd floor. And inside of there's training. I'm talking about from HVAC to restorations of driver's license to the summer youth employment. So there's a plethora of programs that are offered for our young people and old people, 24 on down. Another thing that we've done in the South Ward and the West Ward for our, we'll mutually say young people, young kids, YKs. The blocks that are the dirtiest, right? So I don't know if any of you are on social media, there's a kid named Shaka from the number blocks. He was one in our program maybe 5 years ago, and the things that he's doing right now is a testament to the hopeless having hope and instilling hope within their own community. So we have a grant in our department where we have employed them to keep their own area clean. So that's in the South and the West on some of the hardest hitting blocks. And so that initiative, it made me think and smile when you said teach them to clean up their own space or chop wood or something, but it's most certainly giving them hope in their own community. And in that, there's conversations that's had, well, what are you missing? And it's not just dealing with that one young person that's out there or the 50 young people that's out there. It's looking at, okay, how many times have they had interaction with the police? What is their home life like? What is their father? All the children we hired this year, that's just to go back, all the children we hired this year had either a parent that died of gun violence, a sibling that died of gun violence, or somebody in their family that was incarcerated, mother or father. We was not short of kids to hire. So I say that we look at our community in a holistic perspective, not just dealing with the individual, but where did they hope get lost at? And how do we help reinvest in what they may seem as being hopeless? And so it's really about just that and looking for safe spaces for them to be and that they're comfortable. Because I can't say, okay, we're hiring some of the young men from this side of town in a space that have openings on that side of town and their life is in danger. And so we have to look at this in a multifaceted way because we are dealing with an ecosystem inside of an ecosystem. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew that we do have a lot of resources and where the money at, right? So we spending it right.
One question.
Yes, sir. Good.
One question.
Go ahead.
It's not really a question, it's a statement.
Yes, sir.
NA and AA, as an example. NA and AA are not for those who need it. You could need a whole lot of things. You need your wife to love you. You need your dog not to run away. You need the kids, you need the children to behave. NA and AA is for those who need, who want it. So now you offering all these programs, find a job over here, find a job over here, hire you here, hire you there. If you don't show up, you don't need that job. You don't want that job. You can't do for so much. You can lead the horse.
But you can't make them drink.
Oh, there it is.
And just a little bit on the, I'm coming to you, ma'am. Just a little bit on the side too. We have some awesome outreach workers, right? From Office of Violence Prevention to homelessness, and we have been teaming up with Rutgers, Integrity House. So some of those new direction, and it's a plethora, it's a whole ecosystem with the City Peace Collective. So we have touched from engaging in trauma. We touch if there's a homeless issue. We touch them if there is something where there's a trigger or something. We're trying to touch it in all locations. And every time we identify a problem, we connect and we reuse our resources. Mayor Baraka is very big on engaging the community and getting community partners involved because it takes the whole city to be a part of it. So there's so many different resources out here. We just want to make sure that we're putting it out here. And then the people who are in the room, who is learning about this, sharing it to, or either referring someone back to us so we can be able to help them in the system and in need. I'm going to go over some assistance here.
I have a question for Dawn because she cited that she used to be on the school board. How, being that there's so many charter schools in Newark and now a lot of the schools has closed down, how would one go about acquiring a school, one of the schools within Newark? Could a nonprofit get the school, or how are y'all handling that?
So to purchase a abandoned school, That's what you're asking?
Yes.
So for every school that was closed down, either it was sold or redeveloped, except for Morton. So Miller Street, it was turned into something else. It's now a homeless shelter. Burden Street was demolished and now is the City of Newark William Ashby Mobley Center where we do training. When a previous administration closed down our training facility, we had to go through that process all over again. So we have now the City of Newark can train our own police officers in-house. Howard Street School, that is now where they house the security department and I think I want to say Hal Wilson. So all of those schools in the South Ward that was closed down, they have already been reallocated. I'm not sure what they're doing with the school that's here on Morton, because the last time I was on the board, that school was in a really deplorable condition. And so I don't know whether or not they were closing it down, tearing it down and rebuilding another school. But for every school that was shut down, I think we have reopened or rebranded another school in the city. So the charter school network that have purchased those buildings or leasing them, that's what they decided to do. So for us to get a building, when I hear what you're saying, for a school to be either, it's not gonna be gifted, in other words. And so I can only think of that one and maybe the one here on 15th, and that one was in deplorable conditions as well. Is there
Good evening. My name is Abdullah Ali Muhammad. This is for Mr. James, to my signage. Orange Street to 7th Avenue, 1st Street. You have Garden Apartments right there.
Garden site.
Garden Spot, yeah, Garden Spot, on the, if you're coming towards the apartment building, on the right-hand side, there is no parking towing area. But the Spires doesn't allow guests to park inside the building. And that's a very tall building, right? So oftentimes, relatives, guests have to illegally park there. And I remember about a year or so ago, the tickets there were like $45. Now the ticket has gone up to $85. And oftentimes, and know for a fact, I got two $85 tickets myself. I got $45 tickets before, so I know the increase. But it's the only place you can't park because everyone, you got residents on the other side, are using these limited parking spaces. And so the only access to the parking spaces is that illegal parking spot. I understand the flow of traffic, especially in rush hour. And I'm thinking that the reasoning for that is because the way the traffic comes off of 280 and trying to make that transverse down 1st Street, it seems like we need to keep that side open. But at the same time, I think drivers are aware that if you come down as a car there, they're not gonna have a problem navigating a straight line. And so I want to suggest or maybe look at removing those signs or at least moving them back to closer to the corner so traffic can veer around, but allowing residential or guest parking who comes to visit people in that area. And the charging from $45 to $85, it seems like, in fact, I call it the $85 parking space. You know, I tell somebody, you over here, this $85 parking space. If you want to pay $85 a day, you can park there. And I've seen close to 15 cars get ticketed. And I know that's a lot of money for the city, but it's taxing poor people or visiting poor people because they can't park inside the building. So something to be looked at in that term. Just like say quality of life, you know, just so people can visit people without being taxed.
So thank you for the question. First of all, my engineering department is looking for help. Would you like to join us? Because you just analyzed the entire situation. You analyzed it accurately. As a matter of fact, we were there with the mayor when?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, so a seasoned citizen came out to me and she said exactly the same thing you said. So what happens in the city of Newark, and specifically in areas like this, is there's a battle between pedestrians, bicycles, cars, and parking. So you're right, we could say that we'll let people park along that side. I guess that's the east side of First Street as you are approaching the apartment buildings. But what happens is during morning and evening rush hours, the traffic going there would end up backing up all the way under 280. So that is the actual reason why there's no parking there, because what it does is allows the traffic to flow across the intersection and to accurately merge onto one lane. I guess the real problem is it goes from 2 lanes to 1 further down. We are going to look at that again because you're the second person that's mentioned it, but the issue, I'm not going to blame the apartments, the issue is parking. There is no parking inside that, or it's very limited, so that's something we can look at, but it is a traffic issue that we'd end up backing up traffic during the evening rush hour, and not as much during the morning, but more so in the evening. But we will look at that because we were there last week, Tuesday, we were there with the mayor and somebody else brought that issue up, so it's an excellent point.
Is there anyone else who has a question? And then after that, I'm gonna go out to the sisters so she can be a part of this meeting.
Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. And thank you for holding this meeting at the Masjid. It's important to us here at the Masjid to be involved in the community in which we exist. And so with that said, my question is, how can we be more impactful in terms of the strategy for public safety in the West Ward? One of the things that we are trying to do here at Masjid Muhammad-Newark is to develop strategy around our impact internally, but also our impact outside our doors. And so my question is, how can we help?
The first thing we do is sign up for People's Assembly mailing list. In addition to that, this masjid most certainly very near and dear to me, as you know. And me and Allahu Anhu, Imam Hassan had plenty of conversations on what it is that we were doing here in this area. I would love for this to be one of our safe surrender spaces. I would love for this to be us to open the doors like this for other community meetings. In addition to that, Good Deeds is definitely marketing community involvement in a real way for the Muslims, more of us to be involved, because visually, it's nothing like a sea of hijabs doing anything. Also, if there's any youth that, our kids are amazing, so, but if there's any cousins of cousins that need our help, there should be a safe space for us to bring them into to have those conversations.
And just to add to that, the Brick City Peace Collective, they have meetings on Wednesday. Every second Wednesday. So that's something that you might want to attend and see how you can be a part of the ecosystem. I do know there is a process, but it's best that you go down to those meetings and have a conversation with Sister Dawn. Will be there as well. But that's something that, you might want to partake in. And then just get an idea of what the ecosystem looks like, what they're expecting, and then what you can bring to the table. For all of you that are here, before you leave, I would highly recommend that there is a plastic little signage outside. If you could register for Newark People's Assembly, it's a QR code, and you basically could sign up to get information. And when we have these different spaces, showing up and being in the room and make your voice heard. With that being said, I'm gonna step outside. Miss Shirley, she's really a good sister in this community, and she advocates a lot for us to come down and be in this area because she feels like the lower West Ward doesn't get much attention as the upper West Ward. So that's my goal this season around, to spread out the resources. So I'm gonna let her get a chance to ask a question. I'm sorry. Thank you. Can you guys hear me? You guys hear me?
Good afternoon, everyone. Shirley Thomas, West Ward resident. I have so many questions, but the main one is South Orange Avenue and South Sixth Street. The Habitat building that sits on the corner. We helped to rebuild that 40 years ago. I worked as a volunteer, did roofing and some everything. There's a hole in the sidewalk, and I had 2 representatives from the city hall to come and look at it to see who's in charge for it. Is the city of Newark or the South Orange Avenue Port that they're saying is not part of the city, that the government or somebody has to repair it. This has been going on for too long, and every time I run down the city hall, and I'm constantly down there when I'm paying the water bills, and I walk down there, okay? We need help. I don't mind volunteering. Whatever you may have for me to do, I can come and volunteer. I retired in 2013 from Newark Public Schools, okay? That part. There's no red light on the corner of South 6th Street and South Orange Avenue. I walk down to Littleton Avenue when I want to go to the store across the street. Something has to be done. They're speeding there, they're coming up on the sidewalk, the children are rushing across the street. It's not right. And as being the senior citizen, they're looking at me. Why are you out here? You're not out here. Stand out here. Hold the flag or do something. But anyway, I can help you guys. I can leave my name and number. I don't mind coming out volunteering because we need help. We definitely need help. I have a whole lot more to discuss, but I know there's other people here with problems too. So since there's some kind of signed up paper behind me, I'm going to put my name and address on there. I'm on the number 4, right there on that corner. And I have a large family. You may see them all there in the backyard all the time. Everybody call me G-Ma, whatever it is. But I'm here to help too. And we need help. Thank you.
91 years old. 91 years old.
Okay. You want to respond to what she?
Yeah, I think I heard, when she said South Orange Avenue, that's a county road, but what I'm more concerned about is what she said, there's a hole in the sidewalk, and I didn't get the exact address of that hole.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, if you get that from her, well, because I'm in contact with the county, the head of the county engineer, and we can work on that together. Why there's no red light, there's no traffic signal, I shouldn't say red light, no traffic signal at South Orange Avenue in 6th Street, we'll have to look into that. There might not be a warrant or a need for a traffic signal in that area.
Oh, it is.
It is.
It is.
But so let me,
Explain the traffic study.
so let me explain this. Okay.
Many accidents happen right there. Somebody's trying to come across 6, somebody's trying to come down South Orange Ave, and they meet in the middle. Many times. At least 10 this year that I know about.
So in order to put up a traffic signal in the city or any city in the state of New Jersey, it's not a straightforward process, and this isn't an excuse. What we do is we do a traffic study. We'll have an engineering consultant do a traffic study. And as a part of that traffic study, they have to get crash data from the state of New Jersey, and there has to be what's called a warrant, which means the DOT would look at our application, they would look at what we would submit, they would look at the crash data, they would look at the traffic study, and they would approve us to put in a traffic signal. So it's not like the city of Newark can say a traffic signal is needed here and do it absence of the DOT, absence of DOT approval. But we can look at this, and I can get back to Cerinthia if we've studied this intersection and what crash data, that we have. Also, not that it's a concern, not that it should be a concern, traffic signals. Oh, no, that's okay. So traffic signals require, the electric to be run. It requires a lot of other things. And what's interesting, you mentioned about speeding. And usually people come to the engineering department or traffic and signals to discuss speeding. Speeding is a concerted effort with all departments of the city. It's not just us. It has to be police also. We can do everything we can to slow down speeders. We can put up stop signs. We can put up bumper strips. We can narrow the roadway down. But if people don't think there's going to be any consequences to their speeding, they're not going to stop speeding.
No.
So it's a concerted effort with us and the police department.
So they're saying nothing about the near misses. Like again, somebody's coming out of 6th Street and here comes a bus and they're trying to get past the bus. And traffic is coming westbound, up SOA.
No, it doesn't take into account near misses unless near misses are reported. You know, that's why we go out and we do a study. We'll actually observe the behavior during certain times at an intersection just to see, maybe witness some of the near misses.
Be prepared to camp out.
But we will take a look at South Orange Avenue and 6th Street, and I'll find out from our Traffic and Signals Division what studies have been done in the past and what's the likelihood of putting up a red light. And also, we're going to get the actual address of that hole in the sidewalk, and I can work with the county to see if it is the cities or if it's the counties or if it belongs to the person or the business who's in front of that, which it absolutely could be. Because a lot of times sidewalks aren't the responsibility of the county or the city, it's the actual business or building owner's responsibility.
Could I make a suggestion to that? Because I think the 9th Street and South Jordan has a stop sign, has a traffic light, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And so from that traffic light to, I think, Milton Avenue is the next traffic light. Right, so you got cross streets between there.
6th, 7th, and
Right,
8th.
8th. And so those are freeways in a sense, because there's nothing to slow you down. Once you're trying to get off the traffic light, you're gone. And it may not be a traffic light is needed, just maybe a stop sign. To stop them, four-way stop sign, okay, I gotta stop. To keep that speeding from going, because that's just a straight shot to the next light. And you know, we always trying to beat the lights. Some of us, rushing, you know, how lights is. But a stop sign is indicating you got to stop. If you don't stop, that's your fault. And I think even for the buses and for even cross traffic, before we stop, most people, common sense, will stop, obey the law, who goes next, who goes first, keep moving. And it will slow that movement down. I think the next light from Milton Avenue is Bergen Street.
Yes.
You're right.
We know right here on this corner, you know, we see all kinds of conjunction right here. Again, a stop sign with the indication stop, see who's coming, and go. Less expensive as well.
Yes, thank you. It is less expensive.
Most county roads, they don't put stop signs on. They would need the stop signs on 7th and 6th with the lights going around.
You know, I can't talk, well, you're talking specifically of South Orange Avenue because of the width of the road, but counties are bound by the same traffic guidelines and rules that the city is. So if it's necessary, they could put a stop sign. Yeah, because counties aren't prohibited from putting stop signs up.
It would slow up the traffic. I'm saying like on 7th Street, the one that's trying to get across South Orange Avenue, they put the sign and put the lights on it. It would make a person, like East Orange, they got stop sign on every corner.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, they have a lot of stop signs there. And the other complaint is I can't get from A to B because I'm stopping at every block.
That's what happened on South Orange Avenue. If you put stop signs on the county road, because there's more traffic.
Yes, ma'am.
What I wanted to know is in areas where y'all have developers who's building large apartment buildings and things, do y'all have encroachment rules for them in relation to adjacent tenants, adjacent owners? And if so, what is the footage?
So I'm going to answer the question in general. When a developer, even if it's a one-family home, is going to put up a house, they submit plans to the zoning and planning board. And then the engineering department would review the site plan. And one of our questions is, if they're going to be digging a foundation, how are you going to protect the adjoining property? They're not allowed to go on an adjoining property. They're not allowed to put material on adjoining property unless that adjoining property owner gives them gives them permission. Unfortunately, I understand what you're saying. There is no real buffer. They have to be 10 feet away or 5 feet away. They can almost be up to the property line, but they are supposed to respect the residents around them, whether it's, you know, starting construction at a certain time, the debris and the garbage, the dust, whatever it is, they're not supposed to encroach at all on adjoining properties.
Okay, well, that was my concern because I have an encroacher, so how would I do that?
Oh, there you go. But, you know, they go to the top.
Right.
Anyone else? So since we didn't have police representation, I just wanted to give some of the data reports. Is that okay? Our citywide crime count through August 9th, the citywide violent crime has decreased by 13% compared to the same period last year. Citywide property crime has decreased by 17% compared to the same period of last year. For homicides, we were at 20 last year this time. This year we are at 8. That's good.
Yeah.
My wife? For robberies, we were at 173. We're now at 124, down by 28%. I know how we can get that number lower by neighborhood watches and block associations. This would be a great space for a block association meeting. Just gonna throw that out there. Aggravated assaults are down by 7%, with 633 last year and 590 this year. And associated with the aggravated assaults is domestic violence. Property crime, burglary was at 313. This year is at 263, so it's down by 16%. Theft from auto, 917 from last year, 672, down by 72%. Thefts in general, 657 from last year, 660 from this year, so it's kind of even from last year to this year. And auto thefts, 1,329, down by 1,081, down by 19%. We can definitely contribute that to the fact that in my department specifically, we have a focused deterrence list. So kids who have been incarcerated for theft of autos more than 3 times, we are now in complete communication, who they are, who their mama is, what school they go to or don't go to. And we associate them with one of our partners from Brick City Peace Collective and put them in a program. And we have mentors and that type of intentional support. This is the West Ward, so I'll just give y'all their numbers. As my beautiful Miss Cynthia said, there's been no homicides in this ward this year, so it is at 0. What was 1? No, sorry, West Ward had absolutely none. That was the East Ward. My apologies. If Denise was here, she would have an issue. She runs the program Push over there on 16th. So then if y'all have a chance, stop by there, let them know that those are our young people that are involved. So I'm sure it's always great to have Black men or men in general to be there to stop in. So 100% decrease in homicides. For robberies, there's a 31% decrease for 29%. Aggravated assaults are down by 18% with 105 for this year. And property crime, burglary, 54, down by 10%. Theft from auto, 117 was reported, so it's down by 40%. Thefts, they're up by 1%, as last year was 149, this year is 151. And auto thefts, 206 this year, down 20% from 259 from last year. And those are our West Ward numbers. Alhamdulillah. I just want to take this moment to acknowledge my coworkers, my colleagues from the Office of Violence Prevention. Brother Derek, this is his area. So we have another office all the way up South Orange Avenue on the left-hand side. What's the address, Brother Derek? 849/856 South Orange Avenue. They give out clothes, they help with food vouchers, they help with making sure people have their IDs, any important documents. That's a one-stop shop. I also have my brother Jerm here from our main headquarters, 1017th Avenue. Brother Jerm is on our night team. He is responsible for the curfew. I am a tattletale. I do not care. Yes, I am. Let me find out if some kids where they hanging out at. I'm telling. and they pull up, it is not punitive in no sense of them being sent to the youth house or anything like that. They take them home. And there they have conversations with parents on why this is important or why your child shouldn't be out. And that's another contributing fact on why our crime is down, specifically with our kids that's involved with nighttime mischief. Yeah, I think that's it.
I have some. Oh, yes, hi. Hello. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm Inspector Porter from the City of Newark, as everyone can see my uniform that states I'm from the City of Newark. I work for code enforcement. I also live in the West Ward. So what I think we can help with the community for our neighbors to come out, clean up in front of your houses. Like, I know the garbage trucks may leave trash after garbage comes through, but clean up, come out, tell your neighbors, sweep in front of your house. We do 18 inches from the curb. It's your homeowner, your tenants. You're responsible. Come out. Don't leave trash in front of your house. We don't want to live like that. So tell your neighbors to come out and the grass, the bushes. It's 30 inspectors within myself. We're out. We're sending notices to the homeowners about cleaning and cutting their grass and cutting your bushes. And, you know, we want our neighbors to look just like other neighborhoods. We want everything to look pretty and clean for the spring, summertime. It's getting ready to be winter. When it comes to winter, shovel. Come out. Get a shovel. It's not that much. They don't cost that much. Home Depot right in our neighborhood. Come out and help. You can help the homeowners. Like, I mean, kids used to come around and help to make money.
Yeah.
Make a lot of money shoveling. Yeah, I know. You can even clean up, Miss. I'll clean up in front of your house if you give me a couple of dollars.
I ain't seen none about that.
Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, I mean, but I haven't seen none of the children out there trying to get that.
Right.
That was my generation.
I can understand.
I understand.
We gotta encourage them to go back.
Got to.
Yeah, help out the community.
So,
In the city up in this area, they need trash cans on the corner.
Yeah, what happened to the water?
People just throw it out
Recycling,
on
the garbage cans, this recycling department for
It's only going
sanitation.
right there.
I'll take that.
I understand.
thank you.
Oh, don't leave my business card.
Go right.
Yeah, I have a couple business cards.
Our department of DPW, we've been out, we've been cleaning, right? And I'm so excited, right? I'm so excited. Why I'm so excited? Because we've been outside for 19 Saturdays. And this Saturday is the last Saturday, which is 20. And I get to, enjoy my Saturdays a little bit, But we've been cleaning up and with the community, and we've been engaging the community, right? Because the mindset is that it's DPW responsibility to clean our city. They're workers, they do, but it also takes the community and the neighbors too. And that's a conversation and an education piece that we have to bridge the gap with the children and the adults, right? Before you weren't allowed to throw the trash on the ground. And we also have to change the mindset, because if you do that here in North, but you won't do it in Irvington or Hillside, or in maybe Union, why do you do it here? It's a mindset that we have to work on. And it's okay to say, hey, pick that up, right? And then also, we want to put trash cans back on the corner, but then we run into when we're putting trash cans on the corner, people still don't use the trash cans. On top of that, too, you have people doing other things inside the trash can. And it's just not fair to our workers. And it's not fair to you all have to walk past and smell that.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, set them on fire. Then it takes away from our public safety team where they have to respond to a call where there's a fire because a garbage can is on fire. But then there might be Miss Sally who need to get rushed to the hospital because she needs those emergency services. Or there's a shooting victim. When calls go in and they're elevated to the lowest to the highest, they're going to go to the highest, which is the emergency, right? But then the person in the neighborhood is like, where the police at? Because the garbage can is on fire. So those are things we are considered having those conversations, but that's the hardship. We're putting them out there and the people still don't put the trash. If you go up further up South Orange Avenue, they have the citizen biz, and what happens is the citizen biz are responsible for cleaning the corridors in the business area. And there's garbage piled up on the side of it, not in it, but on the side of it. That's a problem. And they're responsible for cleaning it. So, I mean, we do want to put it, but then the thing is, it's a hardship, it's more garbage to clean up, and it's not properly maintained. So again, that's when the community comes in, right? Who's ever there, and then the business owners in that area being a part of it. And that's another contribution that the Masjid can, be a part of that, this corridor, doing cleanups, engaging the neighbors on the block. Hey, we're the Masjid here, but we want to be a part of this. Is our community too. Maybe you guys want to start a block association and engage the neighbors. That's a good thing. That's something I should have said first because I'm in charge of the block associations in the city. But, and I can help you, walk you through. I do that, organizing block associations and tenant associations. And where we can have monthly meetings, not just showing up, when something happens, showing up all the time and building that relationship. And you feel comfortable with the city coming in, having these conversations. And most importantly, accountability. Hey, Cynthia, this is not happening. Okay, I'm calling Director Adams, right? Because I call Director Adams, right? And I call on everyone because that's my responsibility to be the nudge in City Hall when things are not getting done. And then if it doesn't happen, I elevate it up to the mayor. But that we've been doing a lot of cleanups and just trying to engage because a lot of times is what I've learned doing the cleanups. Bless our DPW workers' heart. It's not easy. It's not easy. And then the more we enforce, Sister Gracie, she's out here and we're enforcing, the violations and the codes and keeping up. But the things they have to go through. We ask people to cover the mattress up, right? We'll pick the mattress up. People still don't cover the mattress up. We have bulk. You're supposed to put 10 items out. People put 20 and 30 items out and then want to take the mattress and put it upside. It doesn't look good in front of the Masjid or Golden Wings, right? We open up dump sites where you could just go clear your whole house out and take it to these dump sites. We need people to utilize those. The crazy part is people from outside of the city want to because they get charged for that. So then when we think about our taxes going up, that's something we have to consider, that people trying to utilize those and we don't have to pay for it. So the least thing we can do is to keep our city clean is go to those dump sites that's open. Put your garbage in it. Even sometimes when people reach out, hey, we having a community cleanup. Cynthia, can you ask the stuff get picked up? And we can arrange that versus you just leaving it on the street. There's a time where children backflipped and jumped on mattress. Can't do that no more.
Why not?
Can't do that because there's bed bugs on them. Or the other people who just don't have respect of life but doing other stuff. We don't want to get into that. But yeah, so it's those things that we have to, work on getting done in the community, get involved. The biggest thing is people say there's nothing happening in Newark. That is a lie. We have so much. We are on the map of doing a lot of things, and you'd be surprised how many cities, countries, and states come here and want to know what Newark is doing, because we're leading the way. From crime to cleaning to any initiatives. We are out here and we're moving. Are we the best? No, but we're getting the job done. But guess what? If the community work with administration, imagine how powerful we can be. How powerful we can be. So many people come here for our resources, homeless services. So many people that the city engage, we send them back because the resources is for our residents. So we want you all to be a part of this and be able to utilize the assistance and the resources we have. I know you had your hand raised. It was somebody else, but I'll go to you, sir.
This question is for you.
Sure.
I attend church down the street, Ebenezer. And past Saturday, Thursday before last Saturday, the men of the church were out cleaning up, cutting grass, lopping off tree branches, yada, 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 picking up garbage. We took all the big garbage bags that we filled up with debris and put it across the street. My understanding is that our pastor has to pay for that.
Because it's illegal dumping.
Because they're building a home next door to our left. Somebody's building a one-family home. That is considered taxable property, right? Church is not taxable. So anyway, pastor has to pay money to have one of the trucks just come on through, grab it up, and take it. Because
Are you
the
saying
city-
are you saying the city truck to come through and
city-
pick it up?
Yes.
That's incorrect, sir.
They tried to get y'all for some money.
No.
What?
I'm not
got
gonna say
scared?
that. I'm not gonna say that, but that's incorrect information. I don't know
Let's
who
see
told
that.
that to you.
Good job.
You
So
want me to
anyway, they don't come through, they won't pick it up.
You have to call them.
call me? Call me.
Call her.
Give me your number.
Okay. I will. I'm like Tyrone around here. 1 second. So I am,
And I'm telling you, what garbage truck was it?
I'll give you that.
so I'm not sure about, only way I see that the pastor may have got a violation because it was in front of the church, no? No, don't do it. Okay, so I don't know why you got a violation. That's the pastor. The pastor, you said he had to pay for it?
He had to pay.
Pay for what? The pickup of or the
Yes.
truck coming?
When the truck came through.
What's
So-
the truck?
Oh, no, we can't do that.
Okay.
We can't pick that up.
That's
Because
So-
Don't
because
you have
you're
to
a
pay
church.
for
Outside vendor, outside vendor. That's all I wanted to be clear
Yes.
on. So he had to pay for an outside vendor or a city of
No,
Newark?
city.
Okay, so you don't pay for the city of Newark. That might have been the case that they told you that, and that's something that we have to look into. And if you wanna have a conversation with me offline about who the person talked to, because we need to correct that. What happened is the next time that happens, you can reach out to me and we can work with you to get those items picked up. But however, once you cut something or you take something from one property and put another, that's considered illegal dumping, even if it's just across the street. So that's what my mindset was going, that you guys were cleaning up and then you put it on the corner and it could have been in between. But if that happens, please let me know because we can, lock down and get DPW to assist you all, or we can let you know where the dump site is where you all can take it on your own. But you should not be paying, you should not be giving anybody who works for the city of Newark any money. You don't do that.
Now, I don't know if the pastor did this on his own, he said, here, here's a couple of dollars, pick it up. Whether he did that or not, I don't know.
Yeah,
But when the city came through, just roll right on through.
right.
We got garbage out here. We can't pick it up. But I'll give you a couple of dollars, okay.
Okay, all right. So yeah, that's a sidebar conversation we need to have online. But I can say you should not be paying any city employee any money or no one for that matter, anybody. Unless you go into the collections downtown, behind the window, those people are authorized to take money. But anybody else, that's not a conversation.
Not
that
Cali,
should be
not
had.
IWS, not Direct, not Roselle.
No,
Yeah, those outside contractors.
Yeah, outside contractors, that's something different, because with the having the waste permit and all that, that's something you do on your own, that has nothing to do with the city. But however, anybody that wears a blue suit and drive a vehicle that say the city of Newark, you shouldn't be paying them. Okay? Yes, I'm gonna go over to my sister here, but we'll have a conversation about that if you need it.
So one of the things that we experience here, right here in South Orange and Camden and all the way to Fairmont is, a large amount of, like, as it starts to get darker, you're going to see, a large amount of drug addicts, homeless people. I mean, we see them during the day too. I'm just wondering what strategies are in place from the city's, vantage point to assist them, and then also, in addition to that question, how can we tie into helping people? Because it's not, I don't want to paint the picture that we're just like, oh, we want them out of here. No, we want to be able to help them too, because we do give out food every other week, so that helps. But if there are other resources that we could maybe steer them towards that you all already have in motion, that would be helpful for us to know.
Thank you. So on the paper out there, we have the text at where if you see someone who's homeless, we have an awesome outreach team. And once you text that app to say the person is on the corner, they have on this, they have on that, they'll be in constant communication with you through that text until they pick up the resident. Now, we just have to be mindful, right? Residents without address, we try to address them, but they have to be ready to get the services, right? Our outreach team is so good. They might say, Gracie, when they pull a hey Gracie, and then Gracie will go down the street like, I see you, Isaiah. Like they have them on the first name base and have that relationship. But they also have to have the mindset to be ready to go. So we do engage them. We offer them beds. We do have different outreach resources for them. We host some events once a month they were doing. Our homeless outreach team, and I can connect them to you. And maybe you all can host one here at your site where they get together and have a day where they can come get haircuts. They may have doctors on site, nurses on site. The last one I remember that they did was at the Trent Center in the South Ward. They usually hit the hot spots, but I'm sure Director Eulario, he doesn't have a problem with going anywhere. And basically set up shop to be able to provide them with resources. So they provide them with food. We encounter residents, some of them who have been off their meds. So we were able to get them to go to the hospital right then and there to get those resources, or be able to get them a prescription to get on their meds. Some of them, if they have issues with their vouchers or they just have a disconnect with being able to get resources and be able to be in that world to have that conversation, we support them. So if you want to get involved with that, we can connect you with that. But most importantly, in real time, the text app to be able to text and they'll respond and they'll come out. And the guys are really good. They're really, really good. Is there another question? I answered your question, right?
Yes.
Okay. You. Okay.
Greetings, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. I just want to say that we need more recreational centers for young people. It's very important. And also we need more programs for the young people to get into agriculture, planting seeds of foods and all that. We need that for them as well. More recreational centers.
So we do have an Office of Sustainability. That's a part of getting the younger generation into out and planting different things like that. They've been doing tree giveaways. They've been doing a lot. But most important, last night we had a community virtual meeting that I hosted with Mayor Baraka and our community partners, where we learned that when SNAP benefits got cut, we had a food insecurity in the city. So we opened up, Mayor Baraka hit it on a point where in less than 24 hours, we got community partners in a room and we set up food hubs throughout the city. And with that, we learned that we had a real food insecurity. So then what we are doing now is we're opening grocery stores, community mutual aid grocery stores in each ward where residents can come out and do it. But most importantly, we have the farms who are going to be a part of it. So we do have a lot of farms that's in the city, community gardens. So we're tapping them into that, so they can be able to learn how to do it, but also utilize those produce. But also the younger people are a part of that too, being in the grocery stores. They'll be allowed to be able to work in the grocery stores, but also being a part of the Office of Sustainability, or the sustainability of keeping our food connections going throughout the city. So we do have those programs I can connect you with it. One more question, because my colleagues are looking and saying it's time to, the meeting, they have to get home to their families as well. So is there one more question? And then also,
but one of the members who's not here, they're driving, so they couldn't ask. They wanted to know if there could be a 4-way stop sign on Camden and South Orange. So this goes back to the traffic thing. She said due to accidents every 3 months. When my children were a little younger in the Clyde Muhammad school here upstairs, we would come to school, and I want to say like every few weeks, our gate was rammed in from accidents on this corner. It's been a little better, but there still are accidents. And so back to the question about what's possible on South Orange Avenue. I know we were talking about a different section of South Orange, but is that four-way possible on Camden and South Orange?
So I guess my answer is going to be like the previous answer. We can absolutely look into it. Or I'm going to say the city is going to encourage Essex County to take a look at it, because if the crash data or if the community is harping for what the near misses, which is sometimes not reported, then that might be a possible solution. But you know, I have to be a little bit careful because it's a county road. I can tell the county, I can have them influence the county, but we, the city, could not put something up like that. But I wrote that down. I have 6th Street also. So we'll have the conversation with the county and we'll look at it. And then whatever the solution is, we're going to get back to Cynthia and she can share it with the group at large.
And it sounds like it's just helpful for us to also put in a complaint when it happens too, as an extra layer of support.
Yes.
And you know, what I try to tell people is, you know, although there's an engineering department, we have code enforcement, we have inspectors, each and every one of you is an inspector. Nobody can tell your story like you can tell it. Nobody can tell your experience like you can. We can go out and we can go during the middle of the day and observe something and we say, I don't see what she's talking about. So yeah, please, you know, reach out to us, give us your experience, as much detail as you can provide. It helps us.
What about traffic guards? Is that something that we can also entail?
Yeah, what do you mean by traffic guards?
So I have a story, like my father growing up, when we was going here, he was a traffic director.
Oh, you mean security guards? Yeah, gotcha.
So, right, I'm sorry, crossing
That's
guards.
how I came.
So the city is always hiring for crossing guards. There's like all year round public safety, and the police department is responsible for hiring them. The process is a little lengthy, not just anybody can be it. So sometimes that's the hardship, right? Most people who are, you know, able to do it, they can't have a record. There's a lot of layers to it, but we're always looking for crossing guards. So that's something I can get you the flyer. If there's anybody who might be, you know, looking for a part-time job or they're retired, that might be something that they can do. So we know that, you know, with children crossing the street, the traffic, the city is growing whether we like it or not. The parking is not as great as it used to be. Everybody's in a rush for some reason. Nobody leaves out earlier to be on point, but they leave out late and they just want everybody to move out the street like they're the only car on the road. So, but yeah, we do always have those positions available and they're always looking. I would just encourage you all before you leave to sign in the sign-in sheet outside so you can get information after today. Thank you all for allowing us to be in space. Thank you to Iman for allowing us to be here. And it seems like what I'm hearing today is you all have concerns about traffic, traffic safety and public safety. This don't have to be the last meeting. We could schedule another meeting and making sure everybody's in the room who needs to be in. But also what I'm also hearing is how can the Masjid connect with the City of Newark and administration to be able to bridge that gap in communication. I'm all for it. It looks like my sister here, she wants to be the person who's going to be the liaison that we can work with, unless the E-man says something else, but she's on point.
That's my husband.
Okay. So, yep, thank you all, and feel free to always reach out to the city. I can give you my number if anybody needs to reach out to me. It's 862 373 3265. I'm sorry, my office extension is the same. I have business cards too as well.
Oh, okay.
862-373-3265. 3765, sorry. I'm gonna go to my sister right here. She has a.
For signing the sign-in sheet, is that for no residents only or can anyone?
So, no, it's for anyone. We, you know, Newark residents, we really encourage them so they can tap into what's happening in the city. but I do send it out to people that just to your topic. No, I'm joking. But no, you're welcome. So thank you all. Please feel free. There's literature on that table. Please take anything that interests you. Thank you. Thank you for my colleagues for being in the room tonight.
He's going to close us.
Oh, yes, prayer. I'm sorry, my manners.
If anybody's interested in signing the peace agreement, please meet me outside.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I'm about to close out. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim. ولا الضالين آمين.
No English?
Now, in concluding this, when the slave traders and the black traders of Africa, traitors, different. Traitors. When the slave traders and the traitors of Africa called themselves Muslims, were fighting each other and carrying on and weakening their people over there so that the white traders come in there and get us, kick us on slave ships and bring us here. Now, all right? Yeah. So now, when all that happened, what you think was happening to our human soul? Let me tell you, God has given me an eye to see into the very abstract form of the human being by my study of the Quran. Yes. Now, I'm going to tell you what was happening. I know, as if I was there. The soul of those victims had given up on this world. They knew they were going to their death. They knew they were going to circumstances that were going to finish them off. They would never have their lives again. They knew that. But in their soul, they were saying, our children will one day be free again, and they will serve God. We have failed, but our children will one day serve God. And now their prayer that they prayed in the deep recesses of their soul has come true. And not only of the descendants of the black people of Africa, from Islam, coming to Islam, taking up the divine cause, but those who never were Muslims, their children from Christianity, their children from Judaism, their children from paganism, are embracing Islam in America. And we are going to build New Africa. New Africa! Right here in the United States. Allahu Akbar. And the soul of those suffering victims, they're rejoicing because of us here today.